right, so recruiting like a rock star. I know that you guys, you have plenty of sales. You have plenty of bookings and you have plenty of events, because I see your numbers and they are phenomenal, right? You're getting in front of people. You're getting in front of a lot of people. And so we need to be able to make sure that the numbers talk to each other, that they are cohesive, that your sales and the people that you're getting in front of reflect how many new people you're offering the opportunity to and how many bite the bullet and jump into our team, because hello, it is amazing. So sales check, events check, bookings check. You got it going on. You got fundraisers going on. I know you have, because Kendall presented on that last week and she gave us some great ideas. So the recruit part is the one little part that we're lacking, or some of you guys have got it just fine. Some of you recruiting a lot of people, but they're perhaps not doing anything. They're not like business builders, right? They're hobbyists, because people can join for the discount, which is fine, as long as you know that when you recruit them, that's what their intent is, and your expectation from them and their expectation of what happens in this business matches. So what, right? But what I hear is, best recruiting tip I've learned is let them need you and not the other way around. Yes, Nick, I'm going to talk about that in a second. What I hear a lot from those that hit triple fast start, for example, or hit to lead consultant, is that they have these teams, but they don't maintain their rank or their leadership, because the people underneath them have different ideas of what this business is going to do for them and their future with Jamberry. For example, they recruit hobbyists, and so then the leaders struggle and then they get defeated. And so I want you to go in to this. Sorry, I'm going to tilt it a little bit. I want you to go into this with a totally open mind. You're not just recruiting hobbyists. You're not just recruiting rock stars or people in between. It can be anyone on that spectrum, okay? Morning, Christine. Hi, Jamie. Okay, so recruiting is a little bit like, it's like booking a party. You can't just show up at a party and expect one, anybody to be there, or two, any sales to happen, or any bookings from that, or any leads at all to come from that party, right? If you don't host a coach. So you need to have that preparation. You need to always be ready to recruit. So for example, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to go on vacation and basically leave their business at home. Well, you know, for some people you might need that brain break. Okay, but you need to be consistent in your business. So what if you're just around town? Do you leave your business at home then? Or are you prepared to work your business all the time? So that's what I want this chat to be about today, is to get into a recruit mindset. We used to be there. We used to be recruiting like 25 to 30 people a month. And now we're down into single digits, which it can be good if those people are quality and they're going to do something, that's fine. But if we're just recruiting the masses, I want us to think about why we're recruiting and how we're pitching it, okay? All right, so I want you to get into that recruit mindset and turn your business back to everything is about building your team. Because if you want to build your paycheck, building your team is definitely part of it, right, Nick? And perhaps recruiting is not for you, so stop watching. If you're happy selling and you're happy doing a lot of the legwork selling and getting paid off your sales, which is also great, right? 30% base minimum is really good. But if you're wanting to grow your paycheck, which most people are, then recruiting is for you. I'm getting lots of love. Yeah, my words. I know. I'm really candid. Get used to that. I'm going to drink with some green tea. All right, so first of all, when we start recruiting, when we're actually going out and about town, you're going to think I'm a little bit crazy, but I want you to remember your why. Yeah, why you joined Jamberry. If you join Jamberry to get a discount, then you're not going to be talking about recruiting when you're around town, right? But if you joined Jamberry to replace a full-time income, or to earn between $400 and $600 every month, and you want to be able to build your team, then you need to remember your why, because your motivation for your conversations that you have when you're around town, when you're at parties, when you're at events, will be recruit-led. Okay, that's number one. You have to know your why, and I know I preach that all the time. Vision, why, goals. Vision, why, goals. It's because it's important, and it comes down to every aspect and the success of every aspect of this business. So absolutely know your why. Be connected with it. It needs to be something that tugs on your heartstrings. It needs to be something that motivates you to do those hard things. To me, talking about my business isn't hard because I'm passionate about it. I believe in it. My why is strong enough, right? But for others, you'll struggle because the main thing is you don't have a strong enough why. If your why is strong enough, your why not will never beat it. We've talked about that before, right? Okay, so your why. You need to have that motivation to get out of your comfort zone, but more likely just to be motivated to actually do those tasks, okay? So the why is important. The second part is belief. Do you believe, not just in yourself, but do you believe in the product? Do you believe in your upline, your team, this team and me? Do you believe in me and this team? And do you believe in our company? Do you believe that head office has your back? Because when you have that confidence, when you have that belief, you have the confidence in order to succeed, right? Because you just exude the passion of what you have for Jamberry and what we have to offer. So I'm going to question your belief. So why, belief, and then mindset. So just like what Nick said earlier, sharing for them, to benefit them, not to us. So if you're sharing the opportunity so that you can hit a fast start or you can hit consistency counts, yes, you want to do those things, but if you're sharing it in that way, you'll never be successful. You need to find why this opportunity is going to help somebody else. So I'm going to give you an example. I told you I'm going to go off track. I'm going to give you an example. We have our little grocery store is Publix. It's called Publix. And their motto is, where shopping is a pleasure. All of their staff are amazing at customer service. You walk in, it's like, hello, how are you? Are you having a great morning? Can I help you find anything? Like, you barely walk through the door and you already have amazing reception. And you walk through the store, and I swear, every time I go, at least 3 staff members talk to me. This is a great ad for Publix. If you've never shopped at Publix, shop there. But it is expensive. But you pay for what you get, right? The customer service is phenomenal. So when I'm going through checkout and the lady has chipped nail polish and she has great customer service, to me, this is an amazing recruit option, right? Even if I pitch it and she does nothing with it, it at least helps our Jamberry brand because we're talking about Jamberry, and it helps my confidence because then I'm talking about Jamberry. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go through checkout, and there she has with her chip nail polish. I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that color that was on your nails. Yeah, I said that. I love that color that was on your nails. It's partly on your nails. And she's going to be like, thanks. Most people don't even get compliments these days. So when they do, they don't even know what to do with themselves. And then go over the second one. You have fantastic customer service. I love the way you treat your customers, because perhaps you sit in line and you watch her be really polite to the person in front of you. You can say those things, and all of a sudden she's a little taken off guard. Okay. The other thing that happens at a checkout line is typically they see my nails and comment on my nails, right? And they say, oh my gosh, I love your nails. Yep, I do too. But your response is, thank you so much. You just complimented my business. And they're like, business? What? And that just gets the conversation started, but from a recruit angle. Okay? It's not a sales angle. They're not commenting on your nails and you're automatically saying, oh yeah, I have some in purse. Do you want to purchase them? Not that way. Right? You're bringing up the business, and then they're going to say, business, what's that all about? Yes, I lead a global team. If you have a team member in another market, you have an international team, so you can say that. What if you're not leading an international team? You can just say, we have team members all over the world. You can say that because we do. We're the fastest growing team. We're the fastest growing team in Evans, Georgia. You can say that, okay? So little things like that, just the way that you phrase things, changing your mindset on the way you have a conversation is going to lead to successful recruiting. Okay. Seeds. So we talked about why, your belief, mindset, and then seeds. Seeds we talk about a lot for parties because we lay the recruit and the booking seeds, and they are the inconspicuous ideas, like the things that aren't quite so obvious, like, oh, you should join my team. Or you can say things like, oh, I just love having fun and partying with you guys once a week. And to somebody else, they're thinking, oh my gosh, she gets to do this once a week and it's fun and she gets to party and she's getting paid for it. Okay, so they're the inconspicuous seeds, the things that are unconscious thought provokers. So they're not something very obvious, but you're just telling little things about you that's going to make them think about your business. Green tea drink break. Okay, so they're the 4 things that you have to think about before you even do anything, before you're even at a party, before you're at an event or anything, like go into an online party, before you do anything. They're the 4 things I want you to get in check. Again, why, your belief, your mindset, and seeds. Some of your seeds need to be planted, and some are just going to be genuine when all the other things come in place. When your why is in the right place, when your belief in the company and me as your upline and your team and you guys and the product, when they align and your mindset switches to how you can benefit someone else, then those seeds will just pop out of your mouth without you even knowing it. I know, crazy. But some of them have to be planned. So if you're doing a party or if you're doing an event, you kind of have to forethink how you're going to lay those seeds, right? So at a party, you're going to talk, maybe you're doing the left-right game and the seeds are already in there, and they're quite obvious ones, right? Because you're talking about the company and the business and how it can benefit. But some things you're going to want to put in there, and you're going to want to do it without people realizing you're doing it. So you're going to say things like, oh my gosh, you guys are so fun. I am so glad I chose tonight to work. I just spat everywhere. I'm so glad I chose tonight to work. And they're thinking, oh my gosh, her job is fun. She's working and it's fun for her. Okay. So little things like that. All right. So let's talk about parties then. How do we recruit at parties, and how can we be successful when we're in front of people? For me, this is the most successful time for me. You have that catchment of 6 to 10 people in front of your face that you get to talk about your business with. You get to have your personality shine. You get to highlight the company and the company that you work with and partner with, because that's what we do. And you get to show off the fact that you have an amazing job, right? So that for me is like the perfect platform, is in-home parties. But I love doing in-home parties. So, you know, I love my job. And so that kind of resonates. Parties, what are you going to do? First of all, to be successful at recruiting at your in-home parties, you need to have a successful hostess recruiting plan. We talked about hostess coaching plan. See, I got recruiting on my mind. You need to have a successful hostess coaching plan, right? So we talked about this last week, and if you missed it, it's on my morning Michelle. Sorry, Amy, I looked at both your names, Amy Jo. We talked about hostess coaching last week, and if you missed it, again, you can go to my YouTube channel and you can see that on there. All right. So hostess coaching is the first part, right? Because you're going to be talking to your hostess all the way along, and you're going to be coaching her on getting her kit credit, right? So she's writing out her wish list, and you're coaching about how many people are coming to her party, and how you can how she can join your team at a discount when her party levels are a certain amount. You're already planting that seed. You're telling her that she can join at a discount already. But know that joining at a discount, it may seed that will to work her business minimally, right? Because she might have worked to get people there to get great hostess rewards, but she hasn't really worked to get the kit, to like scrape up the kit money of $99 in order to pay for it, right? So the obligation then is less to do anything with it. Does that make sense? So hostess coaching, 1,000. So I did this at Charlotte Regionals this weekend, where I demoed an in-home party. And sorry, my hair is like really wild and crazy. I'm like trying to like smooth, calm it down a bit. I did this demo at in-home party in Charlotte, and if you want to see that in-home party demo, again, it's on my YouTube. But we talked about 1,000, and I asked my party guests on stage what they would do with an extra $1,000 a month, an extra $1,000 a week, an extra $1,000 a day. And that gets people wishing and believing. At an in-home party, they're there to have fun. And it isn't wishing and believing like having fun, right? And many people have never thought about this before, because they just feel stuck in a rut. And there's you have this perfect opportunity to provide an extra $1,000 a month, a week, a day, even if it's extra $400 to $600 a month. Like, that's great, right? So have people wishing and believing, and that plants some seeds. And the other thing you're going to do at in-home party is full service checkout. So I hate to keep referencing my YouTube channel, but seriously, it's all on there. Every aspect of a party now is on my YouTube. So if you're not quite sure what you're doing at parties, go check it out. All right, full service checkout. You're basically going to make sure that you invite everybody to the opportunity. Why? Why not? If you don't, you're just judging them and basically saying that they can't do it. That's like quite offensive in my book. Okay. All right. So when you do that, when you offer people the full service checkout, when you offer people the opportunity, don't make it a big deal at a party, right? If you're saying, yes, if you're interested in joining my team, let's have a conversation. And then you have a conversation, and like 30 minutes later, you've verbal vomited Jamberry all in their face. And the person that's behind them, who is also thinking about joining your team, is like, oh, she crazy. She is. Would you go away? I have a dog right here. Like, you want to come up and see? Come and say. Come on. Come and say hi to everyone. Come on. Here he is. Yeah. There he is. Say hi, Winston. You're being really needy. Get down. It's quite rude of you to interrupt my space. Go on with yourself. Oh, needy dog. Anyway. Okay, so yes. What was I saying? What was I saying? What are you doing back? Go on with yourself. With your underbite. What was I saying? Anyone? Don't know what I just said. I think I was talking about these envelopes. Did I talk about those yet? Anyone listening? Okay, so I think I was talking about the full service checkout. You're basically going to make sure that everybody is invited to opportunity, right? If you don't invite them, it's quite offensive because you're basically saying that they can't do your job, which is really rude. Okay, so when you're talking about the opportunity, that's right, verbal vomit. Yes, thank you, Jen. So when you're talking about the opportunity, don't go crazy talking about all the details of the compensation plan and our team and the way it's set up. Like, you just don't need to tell them everything, okay? Because the person behind watching, who's also thinking about asking you for information, is thinking, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna go talk to her, okay? So just be very laid back about it. If anybody's interested in joining my team, I'm gonna send you home with a shiny purple envelope. This on there says join the fastest growing team. I can say that because we have the fastest growing team here in Evans, Georgia. Yeah. On the back it has my information, and on the front it also has an empty post-it note, because I'm not going to give one of these away without getting contact information and name and contact information first, right? Because when I give this, within 24 hours I'm going to make sure I follow up with her. All right, so make sure that it's just very easy, like, you know, hey, before you leave, just take one of these home and we'll chat a little bit later. That's it. You don't have to say anything more than that, okay? Don't verbal vomit. All right, so that's at a party. I also have some of these out at my vendor events. Typically, just have them on the table. It's a really good conversation starter, and it's usually next to the join kit. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about events. How do you recruit at events? Well, for these for sure, but I also have a join kit out. Even if you don't still have your join box that your kit came in, then just put a pretty box together. It can be like one of those photo boxes, you know, just something small. Put tissue paper coming out of it so it looks fun, like a gift, and then put everything in there that you would have. So you don't have to put the whole pack of catalogs, but you can just put a couple. You can put a couple of host join brochures, some samples, the heater, the application kit, a couple of sheets of nail wraps, some mega sheets if you have them. But that is a really good way for people to come and look at your table and be like, what is this? You'll be like, well, that's the best deal that we offer. Sorry, there's a concrete truck and my dogs are gonna bark. It's the old one. He can't differentiate between a concrete truck and like a robber. Sorry, just pause for a second. Hey, that's enough. Nope, don't listen. See, nope. It's gone. The concrete truck is gone. We are safe from being concreted into our house. Okay. I just had a reminder on my phone that I really need to write down, because otherwise I'll forget. Okay. The dogs are done. All right, so you're at an event, you have a join station. I like to call it a join station because it's a box, and you can be quite forefront. You can be quite direct, that's a better word, direct about people joining your team at an event, because one, they're strangers, you don't know them, and two, you're probably never going to see them again, or you might, depends on how big a town you live in. But, you know, they're coming up to it, and it says right there that it's a join kit. Like, you know, you can say, my join kit at the moment, it says have a debt-free Christmas, because they can, right? But usually the rest of the year it says something like start your journey today, or something like that, or best offer that we have, or best deal in the catalog, something like that, that's going to draw them to it. For me, the mega sheets do their job. Like, they're right there and people can see them and they're attracted right to them. They come up and they put their hands all over it. I'm so glad they're in like little plastic sleeves, but they put their hands all over it and they're touching, and that's when we have a little conversation. Okay, again, if they are interested, get this, get the information. If they want to join on the spot, heck, join them up on the spot. It's called a join station for a reason. Okay, other things at events that you can do. If you have a Jamberry t-shirt, or you have the means to make one, just with a silhouette that says, I normally have them in my office, I think they're upstairs, that says, keep calm and join Jamberry, or I get paid to have pretty nails, or join our team today, and something like that. You can have them hanging up from your event, or you can put them on display somewhere. I think it's a really good seed. It's a little thought provoker. Again, it's indirect, you don't have to say it, but it's right there in your event for people to look at, and if they want to ask questions, then they will. Okay, then the other vendors. So when you're doing events, your vendors are the most likely candidates to join your team. Okay, they're watching you carry one bag in and one bag out. Your setup is in 10 minutes, just like an in-home party. Events the same way, right? Don't make it super elaborate. Don't keep playing with all your table. Set it up, get it all out, and then start walking and talking to all the vendors. You want to make sure, if you can, that you get as many vendors there as possible to put a nail wrap on their fingers, especially their pointer finger, because then when they're talking about their products, they're pointing to their products and advertising your amazing nail designs. What? I know, that's awesome. But when the vendors get that many compliments at the vendor show, at the event, and people say, oh, I love your nail, they're going to send them over to you, but they're also going to hear how many people love her nails, and that how easy it is for us to market our products because we're always wearing them. All right, so your vendors are definitely your number one hit for recruiting when you go to vendor events, but it takes preparation on your part. I often do a vendor drawing, and I'm going to talk about this in a second, but this is like a vendor card. So when they come, you know, you can give them like a little coupon or something for shopping with you, or for referring someone. You can do that separate at events. Okay. I had something on my mind about that, but it's gone. I'm a loon. Way too much going on. We have so many. This is like my creative avoidance. I have so many events going on this weekend that I have to prepare for. Like tomorrow we're doing a trick-or-treat event. I have to hand out 1,000 pieces of candy, and 1,000 printed labels have to be on my stuff to hand out. I haven't done it yet. You guys are way more fun to hang out with anyway. So, all right. So we talked about getting in front of people, but you're not recruiting. So in which case we need to look at your why, your belief, your mindset, the seeds that you lay. We looked at how to recruit at parties and events. And now we're going to just talk about randomly. How do you recruit? I want to challenge you, and I'm going to ask you, are you inviting them? Are you offering the opportunity? Because if you're not, you're doing yourself a disservice. We have an amazing product with an amazing company. We just got a new CEO who I got to meet this weekend, and she is phenomenal. It's honestly, it's the best thing that's happened to Jamberry since I joined. Just kidding, I made it up. It's totally the best thing that has happened to Jamberry in like the longest time. Like I can't even tell you like how excited I am about Elizabeth joining. She is so good, so good. She is relatable, right? Like I felt like she is one of us, but she also has this phenomenal business mind that like blew me away. I was so impressed by her. So I just know between now and next conference, even now and next year even, that this company is going places. And if you don't have that drive and that passion to share it with others, you're doing yourself and everyone else a disservice because you're stopping them joining. All right. So I want you to make sure that you're asking, make sure you're inviting people, invite the opportunity everywhere you go. 1,000 pieces. Sarah just said, my son just came in and heard 1,000 pieces of candy. Yep. It actually hurts my heart to give candy away because I don't really like my kids having too much candy. We're like really strict with how much they get, and so I want to just go to the dollar store and get like pencils or something. Anyway, all right, so 1, are you doing it? 2nd, when you are asking or inviting the opportunity, are you begging? I had to get rid of that. Are you begging people to join your team, or are you, sorry, all these notifications keep coming up. Are you begging people? Don't do that. Oh my gosh. All my emails just came through in one go. The best way to do it is to compliment. So I've actually had people join my team from complimenting them, like in an in-home online party, for example, like where they're the ones that like the busy bees that are in your party and they're commenting on everything and they're doing a really good job telling everybody all the information. She's like, oh my gosh, you're doing my job so well. You've been really good at this. No one's giving her a compliment like all flipping year. And there's you telling her she'd do a great job. Yes, she's going to join your team. And an in-home party, if someone has the application down really well, just say, oh my gosh, your nails are perfect for this job. You have amazing fingernails. You could do my job really well. You're great at customer service, like I said, for Publix, right? Or for your grocery store. Little things like that, just throw that compliment out. It goes so far, so far. All right, some recruiting relationships, though, take time, okay? So here's another little story. After I've been doing Jamberry for about a year, and I wasn't really in tune with this information, so you're welcome for those that are about to get this tidbit. I've been with Jamberry for about a year, and I posted on my timeline that I've been with this company for a year and how much it's blessed my life. And I shared some stats, like how many people we have in our downline, and just, I don't know, I was just raving about it. I had 3 messages within like an hour of me posting that. And one of them actually ended up joining, but the 3 messages were, one, they wanted to try it because they saw that it clearly works if I've been stuck with it for that long. And 2, the one that actually joined, she was literally watching me for an entire year, watching to see if I fell flat on my face, watching to see if this product stuck, watching to see if this company was going anywhere, like if it was going to go bust or whatever, watching to see my success. And so after that year, they decided they were going to take action, and they did. I'm so glad they did. But if I hadn't posted, perhaps they wouldn't have, right? So I want you to be aware that what you're doing on social media is a big deal, especially right now in the US where politics are rife. Just make sure that the people that you're communicating with on your Facebook timeline can see the things that you want them to see. And if you're being really outspoken, then perhaps that's not something they want to see and they're going to be turned off. But for sure, making sure that what you're giving to people online is something that they want. I hope you guys see my post and think, oh my gosh, she has a great life. And it can be genuine. Like if I'm having a rough day, sometimes I post I'm having a rough day, right? But doesn't everybody? But I'm not saying, oh my gosh, we can't afford to do anything. I don't even have milk in the house, or I don't know, my life is so negative. People suck. Like I've got one of these girls, she's a direct seller. She's local to me, so I'm not going to say her name. I'm not even going to say what company she works with, but anyway, I'm friends with her on her Instagram and on Facebook, and I see what she posts, and oh my gosh, like sometimes I'm scared for her life. I'm like, are you suicidal? Like, what is going on? That's not something I want to work with every day. If I was thinking about joining her team, not that I would ever join anything other than Jamberry because I'm invested, people, you should know that. But if I was a customer, like watching what she was posting, I would probably have like walked well away, right? Because when you meet people at parties and at vendor events, it's like that very surface relationship. You're just getting to know them. And then if you become friends on Facebook and you're posting all this crazy stuff, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she's crazy, I'm gonna walk away, right? I've known this girl for a little while, so of course I'm not gonna walk away from her. She's my friend. But from a business standpoint, it doesn't do any favors, okay? I'm just hoping that the people that can see her posts are her friends and not her customers as well. Okay, so that's my little high horse about social media presence and just making sure that you have a positive social media presence. Like, are they seeing you playing with your kids? Are they seeing you having time for your family and doing those types of things? Not just Jamberry related, okay? So social media presence is key. The other thing is I want you to think about building that relationship. For some people, it takes a while. I think I said this in Kendall's last week. My next door neighbor, Crystal, once, I know some of you guys who are on here know who Crystal is, like Rose. My friend Crystal next door, I moved into this house 18 months ago, and we didn't talk about Jamberry until this past summer. Like, and not just real summer, it was like August. Summer was nearly over. Well, let's face it, summer's never over here. Flipping heck. Anyway, towards August time, right? So I'd been in this house probably like 15, 16 months before we even talked about it. And one, I wanted to build friendships before I built business relationships first when I moved into my house. I have the decal on the back of my car so people can clearly say that I work Jamberry. And I didn't want them to be like, oh my gosh, it's a crazy Jamberry lady that all she does is talk about Jamberry and she wants me to buy her product. I don't want to be that person. I want to be a neighbor and a friend first. So I'm really glad it took that long, and I didn't even bring it up. She did. She was like, hey, I've been seeing your nails and see your posts online, and I want to see if I can get some for the girls. She was talking about her 2 daughters, not her. And what happened was, actually, we booked her daughter's birthday party coming up in November to do a celebration box. Sold like instantly on the spot. She was like, yes, absolutely. We booked it like 6 months ago. No, it wasn't 6 months ago. It was like, well, maybe that was the first time we talked about Jamberry. Maybe it was a little bit earlier on. Anyway, she booked it. And then we didn't talk about it again. But I said, you know what? I've got a replication and wine party happening. Would you like to come? And she was like, yes. So she came and she learned and she fell in love. And she does not like to have naked nails anymore. Okay, but that is an example of building a relationship over time. And sometimes you don't even talk about Jamberry yet. You're just building friendships, okay? And that's not going to be the case for everybody, but for some, they want to be warmed up to before they're sold to, okay? So make sure that you're building a relationship. And I was listening to an executive call last week, and Marion Forney, she's one of our top recruiters right now. I feel like I've got an eyelash hanging, sorry. She's one of our top recruiters right now, and she was talking about recruiting, and she said the word flirt. You need to flirt with people, and it really resonated with me because she was exactly right. You know, when you're dating somebody for your first date, not that I really remember this. Yeah, see, I needed her to jog my memory because it's been a long time since I flirted with anybody. But she was saying when you go out on a date, you don't tell them your entire life story from the get-go, right? Or if you do, it's probably not going to lead to a second date. And that's exactly the same thing as recruiting. If you're verbal vomiting Jamberry, or if you're telling them too much information, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, never again. I'm not going to do this again. But what you need to do is successfully flirt, right? So listen to their questions, give them the answer. Don't give them too much. When they ask another question about your business, reply and just give them as much as they need. And don't make it real pushy or salesy, but just give them the answers that they're looking for in the first place without giving them too much. So I hope you can kind of remember that, using that flirt mentality, just give and take a little bit. You know, they ask, you respond, they ask, you respond, that type of thing. All right, so once, the other thing that you need to do, sorry, I don't know where once came from, just wanted to say once. Yesterday, I was doing a new video for our new consultant group. We're going to have a new consultant group here coming November 1st. I was doing a video for that about Frank's list. So you all should be familiar with what Franks are: friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, church or college contacts, and then your kids' contacts and your spouse contacts. I threw a C in there. I know. So you should be familiar with your Franks. When you don't have a list of people that you are ready to contact about recruiting, then you need to go back to your Franks list. We say Franks list, but it's really your list of 100, your 100 contacts that you're ready to approach, right? You need to make sure that you have that set out. And your Franks list is going to be evolving all the time, because what happens is when you first write your Franks list out, you're going to go through that list and you're going to categorize them, right? You're going to put a star next to the people that you think are going to join, or sometimes I say you're going to put a number 1 next to those. Your star or a number 1 to say, yep, they're the people that would definitely be interested in this opportunity. Then you're going to put a number 2 or a H next to the people that you think might be happy to host, right? Probably in-home. They're happy to be a hostess. You think they're fun and social, and they have a big group of people that they might like to invite, that type of thing. Or you can get into your cold market through that person. Then number 3, or O or FB, for online hostess or Facebook party or just a Facebook contact that you would reach out to. You're going to categorize that list of 100 or your Franks list, and then as you meet new people, you would add them into that list and you'll make sure you categorize it. Now, once you've got those categories, your 3 categories, right? Recruit category, your hostess category, and your sales, your customers category, they go into what we call your customer, hostess, and recruiting pipeline. And your pipelines are ever evolving. They're just a channel that you feed these people into, and then hopefully you get them from customers to become a hostess, and then from a hostess to a recruit. And if they don't go in that way, they loop back around to continue to be customers. And that's typically what your VIPs are: customers, hostess, back to customers, hostess, unless eventually they join as a recruit, right? But hopefully you can see out of those 3 pipelines that you always have a category for sales, for bookings, for recruits, because you can't possibly have all of those hostesses or all of those recruits join at the same time, because you have a list of 100. So you're always going to have a little group of people to go back to, and as you meet new people at vendor events or around town or whatever you're doing, then you can add them into those appropriate pipelines. And as they move through the pipelines, as they funnel down from being a customer to a hostess to a recruit, oh gosh, then you put them back into a pipeline. Okay, hang on a second. Sky, no ma'am. I don't even know what they're barking at. Seriously, I can't see anything. But let's go put them out real quick. Well, it's the lady that walks her dog 6 times a day. Come on, let's go. Oh my goodness, sorry. Run out. Oh, sorry. Gosh, little taste of my life. It's loud all the time. Okay, so pipelines. You've got these pipelines that you're working on, and they're continuously revolving, right? I'm gonna get you back in place now. Oh no, gonna have a double chin there. Oh, see, stinking dogs messing it up. Okay, so you've got these pipelines, but then you have to have a system to be able to follow up with those pipelines, right? So typically when people say, oh, I just don't know anyone that I want to recruit, and I'll say, have you written your Franks list out? Do you have a list of 100? And they don't. And so that's where we always start. So when you have this pipeline, get it from the start, and then you're going to continually add to it, you'll always have this group to go back to, okay? All right, so make sure that you have those pipelines set up and that you're continually moving people through. So say, for example, if you don't have anyone on your recruit pipeline, then I'm going to say, hey, go look at your hostesses and offer them the opportunity again. Okay, so you're going to work through that way. All right, so working with fence sitters. I also hear this a lot. Oh, someone said they were going to join, but they never did. I get it all the time. It doesn't just happen to you, okay? And what I want you to know is that, first of all, you should be prepared for the no, because the majority of people that we ask or invite will say no. But I was once told that people will only say no twice. So if you offer the opportunity and then offer the party, they're likely to say yes to the party. Okay, it doesn't quite work the other way around. If you offer the party, then they say no, and they offer to join your team. They're not going to have a party. They're not going to join your team, right? Kind of makes sense. So so be prepared for the no, okay? And the more no's just means the more yeses, because, and here's why. You know, at conference this weekend at the regionals, we talked a lot about the list of 100 and going for the no. Go get 100 no's. It's really hard because typically 1 in 10 will say yes. So, but you're going to get 9 yeses before you get a no. You're going to get 9 no's before you get a yes, right? So you have to be prepared for that no. If you give up after no number 5, then you're never going to get to your yes. Okay, so be prepared for the no, but also the no doesn't necessarily mean no forever. It might just mean no, not right now. So in which case you need to be on top of your pipelines. You need to have a great way of recording how you're talking to these people, have a system, follow up for your recruit pipeline, right? So I used to have a book. I'm really not as good as it now. I have like a note in my phone, but I used to have this little notebook, and each page was a person that I talked about recruiting, and I'd put their name and their date at the top, and then every time I called it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seed, 1 seed, first seed, second seed, third seed, whatever. I'd put first seed, and then I'd say when I talk to them, what I talk to them about, and when I'd be following up with them next. And then when I follow up with them, I put second seed, and what was that conversation about. And some people, the first contact, they joined, and when they joined, I got a big highlighter and I wrote signed and put the date that they signed and like a big smiley face. It's like give myself a high five. But some people fill up that entire page of contacts and they still never join, right? But what happens is you get a little bit more confident. So the more you talk about it, the better you get at your job. Okay, so when we say the more no's means the more yeses, it's really when you don't give up and when you tweak what you're saying and you learn from your mistakes and then you move forward in a better way. Okay, all right, so that's the no's. I want you to have a follow-up system, like I just said. And if they just say no, not for right now, then what does that mean? Like, shall I ask you, like, again, before Christmas or after Christmas, for example? Or is it no forever, or is it just a no right now and I check back with you in like 6 months, or next time we have a recruit incentive, for example, right? They might be really drawn to incentives to join, and so that might be the month that you check back with them, but you have to have a record of that, otherwise you'll forget. Okay, so make sure you have some kind of system that you can follow that's easy for you, whether it's paper, whether it's a spreadsheet, whether it's alarms on your phone, whatever it is, just to check back in with that person, and don't forget, because chances are you'll talk to them in a couple of months and they've joined someone else's team. That's happened before too, so don't do that. All right, finally, well, not really, we're getting there. Referrals. If people say no, ask for a referral, especially with your hostesses. If they say no to joining your team, just say to any of your friends at your party you think that they might like to, even though they didn't take any information. Or do you know anybody that didn't come to your party that might be interested? Ask for a referral. So I have these little cards that I just newly made up. It says, refer a friend, be rewarded, my name and my website on the front, and a pretty picture of them sharing a drink together with their nails all done. And on the back side, I don't know if this is opposite for you. I'm just going to read it out. It says, refer a friend, be rewarded. And it says, new customer, you receive a mani-pedi. That's a half sheet. If someone's going to refer a customer to me, typically it's going to be at least enough that I can give them a half sheet. On the underneath it says, new hostess. If you refer a new hostess, you're going to receive a $20 gift card. And it doesn't have to be on anything that they want. It can be picked from your stash, or on the next order going in, or something like that. And you can always utilize your own hostess rewards for those gifts. New team member. I probably, in the 3.5 years, I probably had somebody refer a total of 2 people to me. All right. Normally they come from you doing your job. But if somebody does refer a new consultant to you, I put on here, receive a $50 gift card. So that means it's going to incentivize people to be thinking about me in their day-to-day life. And then it says, contact me to redeem, has my phone number, my email on this side. And then at the bottom it says, everything is better with a friend, which is totally true. So I put these, I actually slide these sometimes into people's purchase orders, into their packets when they order. And sometimes just at vendor events, you know, if they've been talking to me, like perhaps they love the nails, but for whatever reason it just doesn't work for them, or they can't do it, or like they can't have them on their nails, or they're just excited, and I hand them out there. All right. The other thing is, if we're around town and people are asking me about my nails, this is something else I have been known to give out. This is what I call my recruit packet, basically. It's very much like the shiny purple envelope, but the shiny purple envelope includes a catalogue as well. In here, there's a little picture about my family. See that? Oh, let me take this off. This is so I remember to get their contact information, right? I don't give this out unless I get contact information. There's my family, and then at the bottom it says, thank you for your interest in Jamberry. I hope to be welcoming you to our team and Jamily soon. Whether they've asked me about information about this business or not, they're getting it. Sometimes they just want a sample. Well, you know what? Some of this stuff I can get really cheap when I take advantage of Vistaprint and that type of thing. There's a sample in here. And on the back of my business cards, it has application instructions. I have a nail file in here that says, I get paid to have pretty nails. And then I have this sheet right here. There's a host join brochure in here as well. This sheet is FAQs for future team members of Team Brit Tips. And there's basically like top 10 questions people ask. What's in the $99 enrollment kit? How much do I need to sell to stay active? So they're asking about penalties. What are average party sales? How much commission do I make on my personal sales? When do I get paid? Do I have to build a team to be a leader? Do I have to buy my own supplies, and how do I join? And then the starter kit information is there. It's even the old starter kit. So sometimes I just put a little label on here that says, we have a brand new starter kit. Join today to see what's in it. Yep, I'm not all over my business, I'm telling you. Sometimes I'm just not. There's the 5 ways to earn money in this business, and then my contact information at the bottom. This is in our files in the Unite pages, but honestly, I'm going to encourage you just to make your own, because all of these images are accessible to you through the workstation, and you can kind of put your own stamp on it, and you can put your own personality and flair into it. Okay, what I really wanted to show you was on the back of this card. It has some really fun questions. This is the one with the photo of my kids. my crazy family. At the top, it has my testimony. And your testimony is really powerful. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Your testimony is really why you joined, why you're staying, right? And why you're excited. That's really your testimony. So it's like just a little paragraph. And then underneath it says, why join Team BritTip? So you can say that we have amazing support on our team. You have lots of training accessible. Basically, you have 24-hour support, right? Because we have an international team and there's always people online. What is the penalty for not producing? So they're asking, you know, there's lots of direct sales companies. You should be aware of what else the competition is, if you like, even though we have no competition. What other direct sales companies do. And sometimes they have a penalty if they don't produce sales or if they don't sell enough in a certain period of time. Can I earn that cool looking incentive trip? Absolutely. And so a little bit of information about that. And then this is my favorite one. It says, I don't want to be a crazy salesperson that everyone avoids. Help. And my answer to it is, well, now that's just offensive. Was I that person when I gave you this card? I hope not. Together, I can teach you how to work your business effectively for you, whether that be a discount on your own fancy fingers or growing a large team. Okay, so that gets those elephants out of the room, right, that people often think about with direct sales. And then the next part is, how do I get started? And it says, easy peasy, head to my website, click join, select your country of residence, because these are my global ones that I traveled with when I went overseas. Make sure you see me as your sponsor or consultant, and then contact me to get started on achieving your dreams. And then at the bottom is just contact information, how they can get hold of me. That's typically what I have in my recruit packets that I hand out around town. And like, again, I make sure I have their contact information. And when am I going to follow up with them? Within 24 hours, right? Because they're most excited within the first 24 hours of meeting you. And what happens in 24 hours is they go home, they talk to their spouse, their mom, their best friend, and they like burst their bubble. I know, it really sucks. The society we live in, people get excited about dreams and making money and working their own business, and people just like pop that idea right out of the sky. So you want to make sure that you follow up with them in 24 hours. And if you can, make a date to do that. Like literally set an appointment time to chat with them the next day, so that you know that you can get hold of one another. All right, the other thing I was going to talk about with your testimony. Sorry, my eye is really bothering me. Don't have any eyelash, weird. The other thing I was going to talk about is your testimony. When you're doing your testimony, to me, is like your 30-second spiel, your elevator speech. When someone asks you what you do, what do you respond with? Oh yeah, I do these with my hairdryer. Really, you're asking for a sale at this point. You're going to get them so engrossed in the nails that they want to purchase from you, which that's great. If that's what you want, a sales, fantastic. But first, go in with the business idea, okay? Why not say, like I said earlier, oh my gosh, you just complimented me on my business. And they're going to say business. You can say, yeah, I joined Jamberry a couple of years ago, really to get us out of a financial rut. And I never dreamed it could develop into what it is now. I'm so excited to be with this business that we now have a global team, and we have so much prospect globally that I'm not going anywhere. This is an amazing business. And they're going to be like, really? And you're talking to them about your team, right? You're talking to them about your business. And they're going to say, well, what exactly is Jamberry? You've already seeded the business like 3 times in your testimony. And then they're going to say, what is Jamberry? And then you get to talk about the product. So they make a choice for themselves whether they're interested in the product or joining your team. But when you're excited about the team and the business first, that's probably what they're going to ask you more questions about. Okay? All right. Recruit packets. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about before I look at the comments below is other markets and recruiting overseas. I hear so many people say, oh, you know, we launched into Mexico and their business is not great because they didn't recruit there. Well, no, we have so much business right here on American soil still left to go. We only have 100,000 consultants globally. We are just getting started. No matter what market you're in, we're just getting started. And so first of all, I'm going to ask you to look in your own backyard. Second of all, if you do want to diversify your team overseas, which is always a good idea, then just make sure that you're willing and able to support them. And what I mean is, make sure that you understand all the rules and regulations that go along with that market. Make sure you know how much the product is. Make sure you can adequately support the people that you sponsor in that market, right? So I told you guys, I recruited Bethy from Mexico, and turns out she doesn't speak a lick of English and I don't speak a lick of Spanish. So I'm perhaps not the best well-prepared sponsor for her, but I am doing my best to get with Google Translate or Bing Translator, and make sure that I can adequately support her. But when you're thinking about overseas markets, just know, like, do you know anything about their market? Do you know anything about their culture? And if you do and you are willing to sponsor over there, then ask for referrals. The way I got Bethy and the way I have recruited in every market is by asking for referrals. I've asked people, do you know anybody in this market that we're about to launch into? And go with that referral. And again, reward those people for giving you referrals. Okay, that was a lot of information, and some of you are still here probably, and some of you are probably new and just joined in. And if that's the case, then I want you to hop back and look at the information later. Jenny says, I had someone tick the box to say she wanted to join my team, so I contacted her and I got ignored. Turned out she won the draw for trying on a sample, so I contacted her and she replied straight away. This is something that happens all the time. Any advice? Really, it depends on the way you approach her and what you're asking. So, like when you contacted her, was it the same way as you contacted her for the drawing? And are you getting her to do anything to get back to you? So for example, hey, I saw you checked the box, and you're interested in joining my team. I would love to speak to you within the next 24 hours. And if you shoot me a text right now and schedule a time to chat, no pressure, absolutely no pressure whatsoever. I'm going to enter you for the drawing that I do every month for those that are interested in joining my team. And that it's going to be a little bit more incentive for her to get back to you. And second of all, it's going to plant that seed that there's other people that are interested in joining this business, so it sounds like a good thing. Okay, that's something that I have at the bottom of this sheet right here. Contact me for more information, and if you contact me within the next 24 hours, I'll add you into that drawing. So hopefully that helped. Anybody else got any questions for me? I have no idea how long I've been going, but it seems like a long time. If you have questions coming, if you're writing them in the comments, please just hit like or the heart just to let me know to hang on, and I'll hang around. Oh, the other amazing tip that I picked up this weekend from Charlotte, like in these packets, in your recruit packets, whatever they look like, print off the income disclosure form, even if it's only in the United States dollar market. I want you to print it off and put it in there. And you can always put like, add something to it that just says, this is the United States dollar or whatever. 55 minutes, Gemma. Good grief. I'm leaving. If you have any questions about what I blabbered on about today, I want you to post it in the comments, and I'll get back to you a little bit later on, okay? So add income disclosure sheet to your recruit packets. All right. Love you, girls. Jamberry is an amazing opportunity. I just want you to share it, because really we can change a lot of lives with these pretty little fingers of ours. All right. All right. Chat to you soon. Bye.